Hello everyone. In the previous video, we have created a PHP file which print out the statement welcome to Android with Kotlin. Now, how can we call this file from the Android device? So at first, let's copy this URL. Okay, close Chrome, return to the Android, and we are going to draw one view which is text view. Add some edge for this text view. The ID of this text view is text view 4. I'm not going to change it now. So in the Kotlin file, the first thing to define a variable to store this URL. So variable a string and paste the URL of this file. This is the first thing. Now, how can we start with the volley now? The first thing to define a variable from the request queue, which is equal to volley dot new request queue with parameter this. The RQ or the request queue is used to call data from the web server. The request queue asks the following question. What's the type of data? It is maybe string or JSON object or JSON array. In this video, we are going to call string because we have simple string which is welcome to Android using Kotlin. So you should define an object of string request. Also, we can define object from JSON object, and we are going to define an object from JSON object and JSON array in the next video, inshallah. So string request with the following parameter. The first parameter is the method, which is request.method.get. We can use either get or post. Okay, get is faster with less security, while post is slower with more security. Now the second parameter is the URL, which is the variable store the URL of the PHP file or the web service. The third parameter, how can the app react when all the code is successful? So we are going to write something like response dot listener, okay, and with parameter called response. This is the third parameter. Now the fourth parameter is response dot error listener, which means how can the application react if there is some error. So this is the four parameter response dot listener with parameter response and response dot error listener with parameter error. In the third one, the response is of data type string because the data type of the string request is by default string. Now, here I'm going to say text view 4 dot text equal response, which means the text or the string which will be returned from the PHP file will be stored in the response variable, and this response variable will be shown on the text view 4. What about if there is some error? I'm going to add text view 4 dot text equal error dot message, which means the message of the error will be shown on the text view. The last thing is to make some connection between the RQ, which is the request queue, and the SR, which is the string request. So we should add this line RQ dot add SR. Now let's try this example. Run. Okay. Let's wait to get the result on the emulator. Yes, as you see here, welcome to Android with Kotlin. Yes, this is the first example with how can we call a web service and show it on the emulator. See you next video.